Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Nur Kamalia binti Sabaruddin. So today I would like to explain about highland tropical rainforest. So as we know, highland tropical rainforest is the one type of terrestrial ecosystem that exists in Malaysia. So here I want to choose Gunung Ledang as the example of highland tropical rainforest in Malaysia. So, firstly, Gunung Ledang is located at Pangkat Johor, and it is known as the highest mountain in Johor State because the height of the mountain is reached 1,276 meters. Next, Gunung Ledang Johor National Park was established in 2005. It is for protect the special mountain because it is consists of unique species of flora and fauna. So I will explain further about unique species of flora and fauna that located at the exist in Gunung Ledang in the next slide. So here, Gunung Ledang Johor National Park is include 8,611.9 hectare protected area. It is served as a critical water catchment area for both Johor and Melaka. So actually, in all Javanese, Ledang is known as high, far away, or showy. So here I will provide the video about how Gunung Ledang looks like. So by using Google Earth application. So actually at Gunung Ledang has a beautiful waterfall. So here this is beautiful waterfall that exists in Gunung Ledang. So as you can see, there is a lot of high tree which is hardwood tree that comes from Lithocarp family, which most of them is known as Meranti, Kerubing, and Balau. So next, I want to show the mountain at Gunung Ledang. Okay, this is the mountain in Gunung Ledang. So as you can see here, the structure of tree, mostly of the plant is short compared to the plant that exists in waterfall. This is because as we know, at the mountain they receive the abundance of light penetration. So the plant at here do not need to compete with it. So that's why most of the plant is in short structure. So next, I want to explain about governance and ecology at Gunung Ledang in terms of flora and fauna. So firstly, in terms of flora, Gunung Ledang is dominated by the Dipterocarp family. So just I said before, most of the tree is the hardwood tree, where it is known as Meranti, Keruing, Balau, and many more. So top of the mountain is covered by stunted trees with gnarled limbs and leathery leaves. At Gunung Ledang also consists of endemic plants like Fordia ophiorensis, Garcinia montana, and Jasmine lidanis. Is the picture how Jasmine lidanis looks like. Sorry. So next, in terms of fauna, at Gunung Ledang, there is the largest mammal known as Terrestrial indicus, the scrofa known as wild boar, and barking deer, which is Muntiacus muntia. At Gunung Ledang also consists of interesting forest birds like helmeted hornbill, known as rhinotail vigil, and at Gunung Ledang also consists of giant river frog known as Limnonectes blighty, which is it is nutriented in the IPC and red list of threatened species. This is the giant river frog looks like. So the importance of Gunung Ledang is firstly for education, for scientific research, biodiversity and conservation, because it is suitable for education, scientific research and biodiversity conservation because as we know, there is a lot of endemic species and also the unique species that we must protect, and we must observe further about it to protect them. So lastly, it is of course it is very important for tourism because as we know, at Gunung Ledang have beautiful waterfall. So this is the one place, one of the place that can attract the tourists. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Dr. Atika. Today I'm going to present one of the terrestrial ecosystems of Malaysia, which is lowland tropical rainforest. There are lots of examples of terrestrial ecosystems in Malaysia, and I choose Endau Rompe National Park, which is situated in Johor. Endau Rompe is the largest protected area in the southern of Peninsular Malaysia. Here, the two official entry points to the park, which is the Peta and Selai entrance. Entrance located along the eastern boundary in the districts of Pasing, and the Selai entrance located at the southwestern boundary in the districts of Segamat. The Peta entrance provides a gateway to the rugged wilderness of the Upper Endau Valley. distant rivers and raging waterfalls are the attraction. Visit is also a cultural experience as the Endau Valley is within the customary lands of the indigenous peoples of Kampung Peta. Its lives are intertwined with the forest in profound and inexplicable ways. The Rompin National Park is a treasure trove of biodiversity and a critical habitat so important for the survival of the country's globally threatened megafauna, including the Malayan tiger, and Asian elephant. There are top 5 highlights. First is open plain. Here, you can soak up scenery at one of the most beautiful waterfalls in the country. Next is Buaya Sangkut. Here, we will endure the challenging trek to the foots of this majestic forest. Then, we have Janing Barat. Here, we can feel the otherworldly vibes of the Fan Palms forest. Next is Tasik Biru. Here, we can swim with the fishes in the translucent waters of the blue lakes. Last but not least is Kampung Peta. Here, we will experience and learn the authentics of Orang Kulu cultures and hospitality. And Rompin are also known as deep tropical forests. Under Rompin climate are always wet with no dry periods, little or no seasonal water shortage. Soil are always moist. Forests are dominated by woody plants like trees, shrubs, and climbers. The woody plants have a long, straight main trunk with a buttress root as the supporting system. Lowland tropical rainforests, the world's most species-rich terrestrial community. There are estimated 155,000 species of arthropods has been named and described. Approximately 70% remain undescribed. Bohol is the only part of the peninsula where populations of the birded pig persist. The species is larger, lighter in color, and reportedly less aggressive than the more widespread Eurasian wild pig. Monkeys are represented in the park by the long-tailed and pig-tailed Macacus plus species of langurs. The more often seen dusky langur is distinguished by the spectacle-like rings around its eyes, whereas the banded langur has black fur with white bands on the undersides of its body and limbs. The park is also an important habitat for a few other globally threatened mammals such as the Sunda pangolin, the handed gibbons, and Sunda slow-loris, as well as many other small mammals including the zebras, squirrels, and fishers. The park, together with the adjacent Rompin State Park in Pahang, was listed as an important birds and biodiversity area (IBA) in 2003 by BirdLife International. At least 10 globally threatened birds have been recorded in the IBA, including the helmeted hornbill and straw-headed bulbul. 100 species of fish have been recorded in the park, the most abundant being the sea trinids, loaches, and catfishes, a green variant of the Asian arowana birds at the headwaters of Sungai Engau, which is one of the few natural habitats left for these endangered species in Peninsular Malaysia. Now, let's explore the varieties that are found in Rompin National Park. Here, some flora are found in Endarong National Park. Here are some fauna that are found in Endarong National Park. Importance of Leoland tropical rainforest are: first, it is the habitats for animals and plants. Tropical rainforest contains over 30 million species of plants and animals. That's half of its wildlife and at least two-thirds of its plant species. There are also many more thousands of rainforest plants and animal species still waiting to be discovered. And it is important for an indigenous people ancestral territory. Many indigenous peoples have lived in harmony with the rainforest for thousands of years, depending on it for their foods, shelters, and medicine. When oil and logging companies come to remove vast areas of forest to bring diseases which the indigenous peoples have no resistance to, threatening their survival. Often they are also forced to move away from their homes to unfamiliar places, sometimes even being killed in the process. Next is a climate regulation. Forests store water like a huge sponge. In fact, it is believed that the Amazonian forest alone store over half of the Earth's rainwater. And forestry store water from the forest floor, release it back into the atmosphere in the forms of swirling mist and clouds. The rainforests continually recycling huge quantities of water, feeding the rivers, lakes, and irrigation system. Drought will become more common, potentially leading to widespread famines and disease. Tropical rainforests also prevent soil erosion. So surprisingly, soil in the rainforest is very poor in nutrients. This is because the nutrients are stored in the vast numbers of trees and plants rather than in the soil. The roots bind the soil together, while the canopy protects the soil from heavy rain. When a tree dies and its trunk falls to the forest floor, it decays and the nutrients it contains are recycled. However, if trees are removed from the forest, the nutrients are removed with it. The unprotected soil is then simply washed away in heavy rain, causing blockage and floods in lowland rivers while leaving upper rivers dry. Last but not least, its importance for rainforest pharmacy. It may surprise you to know that more than 25% of our modern medicines originate from tropical forest plants. Even so, we have only learned how to use 1% of these amazing plants. So imagine the possibilities if we could experiment with the other 99%. In Malaysia, lowland rainforests near urban area centers are Sungai Buloh Forest Reserve and Ampang Forest Reserve. And lowland rainforests in Malaysia are Taman Negara Johor Endarong and Lambir Hill National Park. And we move to the acts that are happening at Endarong National Park. First is deforestation. Result has shown that the deforestation rate in areas surrounding these protected areas in the regions are increasing. Reasons for deforestation are shifting agriculture, wood fuel, and human population. Shifting agriculture involves the cycle of forest clearing and decarbonizing. It is usually practiced by small farmers who once abandoned small clearing surrounded by primary forests undergo succession, and forest developments may take place. fuel. It is approximately half of the wood that each year from all woody ecosystems used as fuel. This can lead to soil erosion, biodiversity loss, and greenhouse gas emission. Last but not least is human population. It is caused by migrations of landless people and urban people to sparsely settled areas. It is the main drivers of deforestation, switch from slash and burn agriculture, rural farmers, large commercial logging, and mining operation. Next track is forest fragmentation. Scientists examine the impact of a protected area on different forests inside and surrounding the Rompi National Park, Southern Peninsula, Malaysia. Maybe analyzing forest cover changes and fragmentations between 1992 and 2016. Results show that the forests inside ERNP were well protected, but great forest loss and fragmentations were found surrounding ERNP, especially beyond the 2-kilometer buffer zone, the park to large-scale agricultural land conversion, particularly for oil competition. This will impact organisms, the loss of habitat area, and also through the isolations of the pitches. Large animals, particularly predators, are unable to survive in small commons. Also may become isolated from others' populations and cause increased rates of breeding depressions and genetic drift. Move to the management and conservation efforts in Endarom National Park. First, we have habitat conservation. Conservation of habitat not only conserve the attractive species but also the organisms living in it. Habitat conservations are linked with biodiversity conservation. Biodiversity conservation implement through international agreements, endangered species conservation, and protected areas. We look through all the efforts implemented. First is international agreement. CBD was negotiated before the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. Over 190 countries joined this convention, which includes biodiversity through its sustainability and impact. Signatory countries they are aware of the impact conditions of pastures and plantations is evidence that forest cover through forest restoration and rehabilitation program is increasing in some countries. For example, Indonesia, Peru. Stock forests do not match the original old forest in terms of species composition, but the tree cover restores some ecosystem functions and provide a framework that will facilitate recovery of some of the original biodiversity. Forest restoration badly degraded sites can be enhanced by by judicious selections of native or even exotic species, stabilize soils and restore soil fertility. Fragments of natural forests can serve as seed source, leading to gradually increase in biodiversity at sites formerly deforested.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nik Halimatul Saadia binti Muhammad Zania. My matric number is AW190106. So today I'm going to talk about terrestrial ecology in Malaysia. As we all know, there are so many types of terrestrial ecology in Malaysia, such as lowland tropical rainforest, highland tropical rainforest, and many more. But today, I'm going to focus more on highland tropical rainforest. So the place that I have chose is Bukit Frasers or Fraser Hills in Pahang. So here is a virtual field trip to the Fraser Hills in Pahang. As we all can see, almost 92% of Fraser Hills is still covered with virgin forest. Fraser Hills contain a high level of biodiversity. Fraser Hill is one of the 3 known localities worldwide where the ancient and rare thick oak can be found. Trees in upper mountain forest shelter with a distinctive crooked structure and are usually covered in mosses, ferns, and other epiphytes. Leaf size on tree decline with increasing altitude. Low temperature and high soil moisture inhibit microbial decomposition, and therefore organic matter content is high. The uniqueness of the Fraser Hills is the richness of the species diversity, such as flora and fauna. About 952 species of flora can be found in Fraser Hills. Other than that there is a lot of invertebrate species such as butterfly, cicadas, moths, and many more. We can also find mammals such as Malayan tiger, Malayan tape, Malayan sambar, and so on. On top of that, Fraser Hills is unique because of their lifestyle and culture. Also, they are surrounded by the high mountain and they have best scenery. As we all know, highland tropical rainforests act as climate modifier, watershed, and habitat for many species, and it can also act as gene pool for flora and fauna. Last but not least, Fraser Hills also threatened by the activities such as deforestation, illegal poaching, illegal hunting, and many more. Next is limestone ecosystem. The place that I have choose is Gunung Mulu. Gunung Mulu are situated in Malaysia state of Sarawak. They are unique because of their karst features. Limestone are made up from 2 types of mineral, such as calcite and aragonite. About 50% of oil and gas are buried in limestone. 10% of the land surface made up from limestone. Limestone are formed from the marine plant and animal fossils. The uniqueness of the limestone rock, it can be dissolved in water. Essential ingredient in making agriculture and cement, has striking primary forest, beautiful because of sharp rock. In terms of flora and fauna, it provides wide range of natural habitat for flora and fauna. The flora is about 3,500 species of vascular plant that can be found, about 20,000 species invertebrates, 181 species mammals, 270 species of birds, 55 species reptile, 76 species amphibian, and 48 species of fish. Next is the importance of limestone. Limestone important because it supports bat population. Also, it is widely used in building materials such as cement. Last but not least is the threats of the limestone. Limestone are threatened with the high demand in cement production and quarrying. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Zakia. So for my part, I'm going to talk about Tanjung Piai National Park. Tanjung Piai National Park was established in 1997 to protect the mangrove and mud flats. In 2003, Tanjung Piai National Park was recognized by the Ramsar Convention as a Ramsar Site or Wetlands of International Importance. Tanjung Piai also became famous because of the name of southernmost tip of mainland Asia and Three Kingdoms jetty. Tanjung Piai has 29 mangrove and mangrove associated species. There are two distinct vegetation zones. Avicennia soneratia zone occupies the seaward edge where the mud is soft and deep, while Rhizophora bruguera zone occur towards the landward side where the ground is firmer and less exposed to wave. A unique feature of Tanjung Piai flora is the abundance of bakau pasir, which is Rhizophora stylosa. In Tanjung Piai, we can find a very diverse species of fauna. For example, dusty leaf monkey, Asia water monitor, sea bass, lesser adjutant stork, and fiddler crab. But the most popular animals in Tanjung Piai is lokan, berongan snail, and mud skipper. We can also find various insects such as ants, mosquitoes, and grasshopper. The importance of Tanjung Piai National Park is the mangrove act as the breeding ground and habitat for fishes and aquatic organisms. 2. As the natural coastal defense. 3. The root become trapped sediment. And lastly, the mudflat area become the stop site for the migratory waterbird. Tanjung Piai National Park also face multiple threats. For example, tourism and overcrowded. Number 2, the poor of maintenance, which is rubbish, broken pathway and roof, and the lack of staff. There are also pollution from housing, kelong, and fishing activity. This is the end of my presentation about Tanjung Piai National Park.